looking at here? This is a kind of experiment I'm doing to see how I can cut down on render times in Blender using some technology that some people way smarter than me are creating. So let's see. This is a quick explanation of how you can render, how you make like videos from like a 3D program like Blender. So basically here I have a kind of an example open. I've created this file with an ocean and a moving monkey head, and you know, I can run the animation. This is running quickly because this is not the final version. But when you want to create a high quality version like this, where the colors are all right and you have like reflections on the objects, this you have to like render it, right? So and you have to basically render it frame by frame, because then you're going to assemble all the frames together. So I want to create a 2-second animation at 30 FPS, or sorry, a 1-second animation at 30 FPS. I have to render out 30 frames. So you can see each frame right here is just, you know, a little bit forward in the sequence. Each of these frames can take a while to render out, depending on the complexity of the scene and how powerful your computer is. In my case, I usually try and limit my renders to take no more than, you know, a minute or two per frame. But still, like if you have a 2-minute, if you have, you know, your frames are rendering in 2 minutes, and you have a 10-second animation at you know, 30 frames per second, that's 300 frames times 2 minutes. That's a long time. 300. Sorry. So that's 600. Yeah, that's 10 hours of rendering for a 10-second animation with 2 minutes per frame. Right? I think so. My math might be off. I'm really bad at doing that in my head. But anyway, the idea here is to cut down on how many frames I have to render. And there are these like new AI models that can basically take 2 frames which you've generated. So here I've got frame 1, 2, and 3. You can feed it frames 1 and 2 and 3, and it will try to generate frame 2 for you. It'll try and kind of guess like what needs to move where. So I'm playing with one of those now, and it's pretty cool. So here I have a set of frames where I'm skipping every other frame. So I have frame 1, 3, 5, 7, all the way down to 29. Right here, immediately, my render time is cut in half, right? Because I'm rendering half as many frames. And then when I run it through through this model, it generates 30 frames for me again. Check it out. So this is a real frame that I rendered, and then here is an artificial sort of in-between frame that the AI model rendered. You can see there are some like errors, right? There's some kind of weird little artifacts here that the waves look really messed up. I mean, look at before. Look how like crisp these reflections are, and then on this one, it's totally messed up. Real, fake. Look at this. There's just like terrible artifacts here. But the cool thing is that when you run this through, when you kind of put this all together, it goes by so fast that you can't even really see it. So in this video, the first second is going to be the original, and the second is going to be the one where I'm interpolating every other frame. So here we go. Watch this. Did you catch a difference? I didn't. Now if we keep going, we can have it interpolate 2 frames in between. And we can even go up to like, or we can keep going as many as we want. But if you watch the video, you'll see that once you get to like skipping 3 frames, 4 frames, you can really see that it's messed up. So 3 frames, oh, it's getting crazy. 4 frames. Okay, it's just total disaster at that point. But I think with up to skipping 2 frames is passable. I'm really surprised that you can skip. You can give it. You can skip every 2 frames and still get a pretty good result. I mean, there are some artifacts here. Like, look at the way the head kind of wonks out there, and the way the mouth. Let's see. Yeah, the way the mouth like bulges at one point. Can't really grab it. But it's still pretty good. And this right here would cut down your render time by 66%. So, pretty amazing. You might be wondering, how long does it take for this AI thing to generate those interpolated frames? Very, very little time. You know, if it takes me 30 minutes to render 30 frames versus if it takes me 10 minutes to render 10 frames, and then I have to use the AI to generate those lost 20 frames, it might take like 30 seconds to render those lost frames, maybe even less. So it's totally negligible. Anyway, just wanted to show you something that I think is pretty cool.